Can you solve this Mate-in-6 puzzle? This is from the real game that I played yesterday. You can refer to the video. And let's rewind. So White has just played Queen F1 takes knight, which is a suicidal move. Now we have a chance to take Mate-in-6. So the correct move here for us is Bishop D4 check. And White has to be careful. So if they played H1, King H1 is a wrong move, because we can then play Rook H2 takes pawn. Brilliant sacrifice here to bring the king to the side, and Queen D4 checkmate. So this is a wrong move. Instead, they should play Queen F2 to block the check. This is actually forced, and now since the queen is now pinned the king by our bishop, we can do D4. Queen D4. Now we are threatening to take their queen, and that would easily result in a checkmate. So there are a few scenarios to consider here. So definitely can't take a bishop with the queen because it will be immediate checkmate. And this is because the king has nowhere to escape. So they can't take. Instead, they should push the pawn to let the king escape while we check them. So they need to choose the correct pawn. If they do G pawn, it is a wrong move because the queen is still pinned, and we can now take the free pawn check. King is forced to move to the F file, and we take the queen is a checkmate. So the only correct move here is push the H pawn to H3. This actually just delays our checkmates by 1 to 2 moves. And now we are definitely going to take the queen. There are no other choice here. So now king can go H2. And this is the situation that makes this puzzle brilliant. And here's why. So we analysis of this situation, we have the rook targeting the whole H file. We have queen threatening checkmates and blocking all the possible escape paths of the king. And with the bishop supporting the queen, we are definitely in a winning position. So our goal is to make our rook go into the G file, and we can attack this G2 pawn here with our queen for checkmate. So what we are going to play here, we can just bring up our rook in this move, and the next move we are going to move our rook to the G file. Doesn't matter, we can play H6, rook to H6, and then no matter what white plays, we are going to checkmate in 2 moves. So they are probably going to try and kick our bishop away by pushing the C pawn, but it is too late. We can now move our rook to G6, and even if they take our bishop, we are going to checkmate. So let's say white can see that move, and they prevented our rook to go to the G file by pushing the F pawn. Well, this is also resulting in a checkmate, but in a different way. We're going to then play bishop to E5. Now this check, because the F pawn is now not at F4, it's at F5 now. Now we're able to check, king goes back to the corner, and queen is going to checkmate. So either ways, we are winning. We can also play H4 rook at this position here, and it's slightly more cheekier, but it's going to be the same result. And even if they try to push our bishop away, we are not going to care about that. They can take it as they like. And we still play rook to the G file. Now, if they take our bishop, everything is going to be the same. It's going to be immediate checkmate. But if they take our rook, then we are going to checkmate by queen h4. These are the standard ways of winning this game, but we can actually play h5. This is still a mate, but it's going to delay a bit of the mate. So after we play h5, they may still play c3, try to push our bishop away. And if we play g5 for the rook and they take, we can still win the game by playing e5. And of course they go back, and it's going to be the same result as before. So actually, no matter what we play, we just bring the rook to the g file. It's going to be a win for us. Going back a few moves, while our rook is still at the h8 corner, there is a slightly cheekier way of playing, and it is actually pawn g5. At this point, we are actually targeting this h3 pawn right here. So we have already know that they can't take because we are going to do our bishop. So it's not going to work for them. And they can't play this pawn because it's going to be immediate checkmate. So all they can do is wait for the death. Either they push the pawn or to push our bishop away, or they play any other thing else. It's not going to change. It's going to be pawn g4, and they can take our bishop, and we're going to checkmate with rook h3 takes pawn. Or if you are more cheekier, you actually have an option of directly taking the pawn from here. Sacrifice rook h3, king is forced to take, and now it is still mate-in-4 in this position. We can just either castle, or we can just move our king away so that our rook can come over. And no matter what they place, we can do rook h8. And now their only escape is to king g4, and we can further push in our rook to h4 with the support of queen. And no matter they play king g5 or king f5, we are going to do checkmate by queen taking this f4 pawn. It doesn't matter. It is the same result, which is of course a checkmate. So if you enjoyed this puzzle, please leave a like.